weekend, Clippy. We had a bunch of them. Jays looked really good.
Yeah, it was some good ones.
Looked good. What about you got?
I'm going with the O's because I think they have become one of the most dominant teams in the sport, right? And when you talk about comeback victories, and going into the weekend, they had like 32 or 33. They was down 4-0 in the first game of the series against the Marlins, came back and won that game. It just looks like the fans are back. The fan base, they got the sprinkler. They got everything working over there at Camden Yards.
Bird bath.
They'll be a dangerous team down the stretch.
You got the little chug thing for the homers.
Yeah, man, they got it all.
The homer hose.
Yeah, the homer hose.
I love they got my man out there spraying the water. I'm like, man, go water some plants, bro. You're tripping.
Kim, how about you? Most impactful sweep?
Well, for me, it was the Brewers. I think when you look at that NL Central, this is a division that's wide open. You look at the Nationals from a couple years ago, everybody's still in it, but being able to take on a surging Reds team, hold them back, keep them at bay was huge. I think now you're seeing their confidence grow. I think they're going to make a huge jump from what they did last year. Not make too many moves like they did last year. Keep it a little bit the same and not add pieces instead of subtract. I like what the Brewers were able to do against
Christian
the Reds.
Yelich is healthy.
Oh,
yes,
my
big
goodness.
Time. Sometimes you get seduced by the shiny Corvette. Hey, the Reds, all these youngsters. Hey, Brewers are still here.
Yep.
Brewers really put the boots to the Reds. All right, so the Orioles camp is the brightest future in baseball when you think of Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson and now Grayson Rodriguez.
Yeah, you think about these young guys coming up right here. Don't forget about Seth Mullins, the veteran guys that you still have, as the core. And then you look at Jackson Holliday, arguably maybe the most dominant farm system out there right now. So guys coming, hungry guys. There's a wave of guys coming that they believe now. There's no more hope in that system, that organization. Now there's an expectation of we're going to win, and now who's going to come up and help. So I think this young O's team, Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, they are leading the way, showing that they believe, showing that they can do huge and big things for this O's organization, and they have been fun to watch, all season long and going back to last year.
Finding good ball players.
Oh,
you got to have players that understand the responsibility and accountability every single day. But you got to have skill sets, right? The skill set goes along with everything else. So once you find time for yourself and you go out to the cage, the work ethic is there, and then you go out there and transition from AAA to the big leagues. And that jump is huge because you kind of lose that, what was I doing consistently every day? Nothing different.
Yeah.
You just got to go out there and play. They got a great core of young
guys.
solid dudes that's selfless, and they care about one another. You see it.
I still think best young core of the Reds. Spencer Steer, McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, but we'll get to Ellie in a second. I mean, the pitching, Cliffy, Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, like the Reds to me.
I can't listen. I'm not gonna fight you on that because when the Reds play, it's been a long time since I sat there and watched a whole Reds game, thinking what I'm gonna see today that's different. That cat right there is brought about 30,000 fans to that ballpark in Cincinnati since opening day.
You got 6 rookies, 6 guys, new positions. Over 120-plus OPS. 100 is the league average.
Yeah,
That's
you don't
special.
see that often.
Out of young guys coming up doing damage, that is special to watch. An athletic team they have right now, too.
Harold will never laugh. And you got fans from... I haven't seen the games since Barry Larkin was in the lineup.
Hey, the big red machine is back and kicking.
It's facts, man. It's good to see in Cincy.
No question.
Those
crowds have been great. All right, Rays, Rangers, Cliffy, ALCS preview. Huge series coming up. Top 2 offenses right now in the American League.
You know what? I'm not going to knock it. I would say yes. I think when you have the stars that the Rangers have without Jacob deGrom, meaning that you have Seager and Simeon to go along with Adolis Garcia, who's leading the league in RBIs, they have a good nucleus. And what happens with that is it takes the pressure off your supporting cast players. So now everybody can chill a little bit, not get complacent, but chill and not feel that heat of not, picking up your big boys. I love this matchup. I think Tampa is going to make a move at the break. They have some injuries with their starting rotation. This just speaks to, weathering the storm because we all know what Tampa started off as.
Yep.
The best team in baseball. They've come back to earth, or has the Baltimore Orioles gotten better? We don't know yet, but I think this is a good matchup.
Yeah, I love this matchup. But me, I love the older guys, the older managers, that is. Bruce Bochy, what has he done? Came into that locker room. I mean, totally turn around the expectations of what these Rangers want to do, what they believe they can do. We thought maybe a year or 2 away. Look at these guys right now. They're not going away. And one thing that I take a huge look at is Bruce Bochy has notoriously been one of the best at managing bullpens coming down the stretch, postseason baseball. When you have to win games, Bruce Bochy, don't bet against that man. I love the veteran guys. I love what they're doing in Texas.
Speaking of, the other day he had Chapman as a closer, but Will Smith he also uses as a closer. So that's very rare when you have 2 lefties, and I'm going to determine who the closer is depending on that matchup.
I'm so happy that they went out and acquired Chapman when they did. Stop waiting to the deadline. The deadline, everybody chasing the dudes.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, you get him now. You get him when he's hot. You get him when he's feeling good. Everything about the fingertips. He has a stare down when he strikes out, with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great move by the Rangers.
All right, stick tight, boys. We'll come back in just a second. Right down time for our social media question. On that topic of Rays and Rangers looking so good at the American League, which team will win the American League pennant and why? That's our question we're asking all of you. Hit us up right now, hashtag MLB Tonight. All-star power shines bright, and the Rangers will win the pennant. That's from James Hurd. Lock in and get in on the Herd. We'll see if Texas can do it. Certainly lots of star power. Nick Alvarez says the Orioles. They just seem like they're clicking at the right time. I don't know if they have enough starting pitching, but if Grayson Rodriguez comes up and he dominates, I'm with you on the O's. How about the Dawn, who says the Astros? Because that's just how it happens every year. Yes, you can't fall asleep on the sleeping giant that is Houston, especially if Jordan Alvarez comes back. Russ, even though the Yankees aren't in playoff position as of now, I still do believe that they have a chance because there's a whole lot of talent. They've got the talent. Let's just hope Aaron Judge can come back sooner rather than later. And lastly, Nathan, the Rays will win the pennant because Shohei Ohtani will be playing for them come August 1st. We'll talk more about that because there's some speculation right now the Rays could make a run at Ohtani. Just imagine that. Let's check out Angel Stadium on Ballpark Cam, presented by NTT, innovation partner of Major League Baseball. And, of course, there's so much talk around Shohei Ohtani, and we'll dive in a little bit later on. But right now, we're going to do our leading off segment here as we take a look at the different games going on. And, again, the Angels right now, 6 games out of a final playoff spot, going to be a challenge as they're taking on the New York Yankees. Yankees right now trying to turn things around after losing 2 of 3 against the Colorado Rockies, the team with the worst record in the National League. But Tampa Bay and Texas, first and foremost. It's interesting, Kim. I was looking at the Rays, and they actually have the best starting pitching ERA. Now, the concern is it's the fifth fewest innings thrown. So they don't have a lot of innings being thrown there. But McClanahan comes back. This guy's got the lowest ERA in baseball since he's come back. He's such huge for them.
Yeah, he's nasty. If swing and miss was a person, it would be Shane McClanahan. I mean, the dude is absolutely nasty.
Yeah.
I don't care about any back injuries. When he's out there, what he gives this Rays rotation is just lights out. I mean, his fastball is phenomenal. His ability to pitch to different quadrants and just set you up. Wipe out changeup, breaking ball nasty, slider as well. This guy has it all. Keeping him healthy is going to be huge. But the plus is, that lineup, man, they don't take any days off. They stress out the opposing pitchers. They continue to give whoever is out there a chance. And one thing we know about the Rays is when guys are down in that rotation, they always have somebody lurking down in AAA, somebody lurking in that bullpen who can come in, pick up innings, and give them a bolster and give them a lift. So I don't worry about the Rays at all. It's all about making sure they stay where they are in this tough AL East.
Yeah.
Keep afloat, try to, fight off those O's. But if they can, they're going to get guys back at the right time. They're going to be dangerous.
Cliffy, in the box, lefty for you facing McClanahan, 97.
Yeah, everybody talked about, back in the day how much you face Randy Johnson. I go, well, least possible.
Right.
I didn't want to face him. But, sometimes, you don't want to be like everybody's, you get in the box.
Yeah.
There are some lefties you should have a day off, against, and you should have righties out there like Cam.
Yes.
Go get them, big dog.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for you on the top step when the righty come in from the bullpen.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Chris Carpenter was my guy, man. I woke up, I saw.
Tonsils are inflamed.
All of a sudden, we don't want to get anybody. It might be contagious, too. I need to leave me in the back room.
Don't even bring him to the yard.
You had days like that.
I could play. I just don't want to hurt you guys.
Exactly.
I don't want to start around. Other games here, Washington Nationals and Chicago Cubs. Big topic right now in Cubs Sports Talk Radio. Should they deal Stroman if they're not into the extension? And should they deal Cody Bellinger? Cliffy, this is a great story. This guy hit 203 the last 3 years. He's now hitting over 300. And speaking of lefty on lefty, he's got an OPS over 1,000 against lefty pitchers. Great story for Bellinger.
It is a great story. And, we always look for guys that, they doing something different. They dropped their hands. They opened up. He did nothing.
Wow.
He did nothing. All he did was got out of L.A., and I don't know what happened in L.A. I will never speculate, but what I do know is he's hitting, every single day. Unfortunately, he won the IL, which cost him probably to go into the All-Star game. But when we talk about bounce back, look at last year. Now Cam, I don't know, is there anything that much different?
Looks the same to me,
Looks the same. All he's doing is getting a chance to play against lefties. And what happened when you get a chance to play every day? You figure it out, right? If you good and you have talent, you figure it out. This is absolutely, and he's walking out of that box. You know what? I'm doing damage. I'm swinging violently, right? I'm not taking these little hacks, but I am standing on the baseball. I'm doing little things consistently, and I'm highlighting lefties because guess what? He hadn't played against them. He struggled against them. He didn't do enough to show Dave Roberts in L.A. that he could play every day. The numbers showed that, and I understand what happened in L.A. Things happen. When you get a chance to have a resurgence and a bounce back, this is what you love and appreciate about talented ball players who get a chance to, sort of not do anything other than have another opportunity. And where you want it, you feel good about. And I just love where he's at right now. I had a chance to talk to him in spring training for a good period. And he talked about just doing little things in off season. He didn't speculate. He didn't go into it. He didn't get deep dives into it. He just was like, I was able to sort of take a step back from the game, understand what was going on, dealt with whatever he dealt with personally in L.A. And I think it just gave him that sense of like, well, I haven't lost anything. So I'm not going to go change anything, go back down, all the way down and try to figure it out. I'm just going to stay in my lane, and it's going to work. He believed in that, so that's why I gave him hats off.
And I cannot help but to think, 2 years he was fighting that shoulder injury. I had a labrum repair, and it takes you almost 2 years, and especially when you have a valiant swing like Belly had. Now I just think he's healthy. Like you said, Cliffy, there's nothing different. That setup's the same. And the only thing that I'm seeing differently is he's staying on the ball a little bit longer because he's healthy.
Shoulder's not out.
So now he doesn't have to cheat. What happens is when you're hurt, your body starts telling you have to, make up for that little bit of injury, that lack of power. So what happens? The hip starts to fly a little bit. Now he's healthy, same setup, same swing, back to the Belly that we saw win the MVP.
It's been fantastic to see. Next up, the Dodgers and the Orioles. Speaking of those Dodgers right now in first place, first half, a little up and down for the Dodgers. D-backs are in first. Now we're rolling. Now we're the first place team. Giants in second. Arizona's in third. And tonight they face Grayson Rodriguez. And this is a guy who's so critical for them, Cam, because they have high expectations. Gave up way too many home runs. Went till the minors, looked filthy. Now he's back.
And you see right here, a little bit of the issue for Grayson Rodriguez. Has a smooth delivery, a repeatable delivery, nice mechanics, and you love seeing that. But up here in this league, you can't miss here. You see to Shohei Ohtani, when that ball takes a seat in the middle of the plate, it takes an even further seat away from you out there in those seats. But right here, he went down to the minor leagues. You see the stuff plays up, plus fastball, electric life, good movement, working the inner half. And he has a wipeout changeup and a wipeout breaking ball. This is where he needs to live, right here at the edges. You see these clips off the edges, attacking early, getting ahead, and then living off the edges. Up here in the big leagues, when you get ahead, you can't miss in the middle. We take big advantage of mistakes up here in the big leagues, and that's what happened. You want to see him come up, attack, get ahead early. The good thing is the guy has good command. Now we want to see him pitch to the edges when he gets ahead of these hitters and put them away. This guy has wipeout stuff. Now he just has to learn how to be consistent with dominating the out pitches and dominating those 2-strike counts, and that's where he'll go to another level.
Orioles' 8-game winning streak. If they win and the Rays lose, virtual tie for first place in the AL East. Lastly,
who would have thought that?
Yeah, crazy. Lastly, the Giants and the Reds. We don't want to, poo-poo the feel-good story that is the Reds, but their offense, Cliffy, went missing. Brewers really took it to him, and yet Ellie De La Cruz, when you look at his gifts, what he has in the field, it's remarkable.
You know what? The fact that he has the balance. He has this fearless attitude. We've been hearing a lot on our network, fearless. Well, it's hard to get fearless. It's hard to be consistent. But what he brings to the table is, you know what? I want to bring the flair back. I want to bring this back. And he almost left the stadium. Come on, man. And his swing has so much balance because when you have a leg kick, it's almost like a perfectionist type